Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leo Mookie here, back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Was Mega Man's Star Force. This is part 3, and in the last part, I went over on Izuku's, for the past couple of months, Izuku has been training with Omega Sis to get used to his new EM form, being the EM wave change. With him, getting used to the EM wave world by moving at the speed of light, fast, and not only that, being composed of EM waves entirely, he's also completely invisible as well. Also, turns out, not only that, just as Izuku fought against viruses in the first part, he's been fighting against viruses and also EM wave hackers as well, with as he was basically being that of a somewhat vigilante. However, to show his true heroism, he soon stopped a runaway train that was being attacked by that of EM viruses, and was able to save the people in the train, with soon showing his new monarch name known as MegaMan. So, with that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? Another past couple of months have now gone by, as the name MegaMan has been basically spread across. It hasn't got as big as topic as, once again, Izuku is not a pro hero. He is a vigilante doing the hero's jobs. However, as for taking care of EM viruses and EM hackers, some people believe that this is the doing of Mega Man, but they can't prove it because quirks that revolve around that of cyberspace, especially that of EM waves, is completely unprovable and unsolvable as well. Some people believe that it's only due to the smartest pros, such as Nezu, being a support hero, being able to take care of the EM viruses. However, the Chimera principle of UA says that most of his activities are not done by him, but mostly done by an anonymous, supporter who hasn't even shown himself at all. As this began to build that of a fan base for the blue, as people like to call him, the Blue Bomber. Not only that, even though his popularity in the real world is starting to fade, Mega Man's popularity on the internet, on the other hand, is starting to grow. As a certain young woman who has been that of a shut-in her entire life. Not only that, is also a skilled and somewhat scary hacker, as she has been following the deeds of Mega Man through the internet constantly, seeing on what he'll do next, on how he'll act, and when he's going to save somebody, to make sure that she's able to support herself. She mostly gave her works towards that of certain villains who want to get through certain security systems that needed that of a hacker's approach. However, when she was basically facing against Mega Man, she was completely overwhelmed by his ferocity, almost like he was alive himself inside of the EM wave world, something that she's never been able to be stopped in. Now, also, when instead of being tracked back down to where she was at, instead, she wasn't attacked one bit. She was never even ratted out to the cops. Instead, it was mostly the people who hired her who was ratted out, which then made her more and more curious about Mega Man, as his appearances in real life are become that of shorter and shorter, as it only shows up when certain viruses act up in the real world instead of just into the EM wave world, as most of the incidents are either caused by that of runaway cars being overloaded by that of the EM waves due to viruses, or such as that of a building circuitry being overwhelmed by the EM waves connection from not just from its own circuitry, but from others' connection towards it as well, using the EM wave network. Then soon, MegaMan stepped in each and every time, saving the driver while also stopping the car at the same time, and saving as many people as he can from the fire, almost like he was turning invisible. But from his first appearance, it's almost like he's moving at light speed, which, if she recalls, EM waves are the same way. They're basically untouchable, and they move faster than the speed of light, which made her realize that he's composed entirely of EM waves. Plus, looking over the security cameras through each and every area, there soon shows that of a green net boy running from the situation or staying quite a bit. You would think that there wouldn't be any connection between the two. However, there is one connection that's pretty similar. MegaMan's face is always covered, but his body shape and size are basically similar. And not only that, looking through certain facial recognitions, scanning, and even that of police / that of medical records, she was able to know his identity. His identity being Izuku Midoriya, a junior high student now turned that of a junior high graduate, which graduating from his school, who was quite quirkist actually, as they basically would do anything for those with that of high quirks, and those with that of weak quirks or have no quirks whatsoever, such as himself, would put them down constantly. So he took the early graduation exam and basically left the school, which is no surprise given who his father was, Hisashi Midoriya, the one who discovered EM waves, as this young woman, otherwise known as Manabi Iba, a 20-year-old woman / EM wave hacker who has been somewhat fixated on MegaMan, or rather Izuku, and wants to know more and more about him. Speaking of Izuku, currently right now, he's, surprisingly, doing push-ups and sit-ups in his bedroom. As right now, he's not struggling as much, but not really doing as well as he would in canon, to be honestly. He's currently at 50 push-ups, but once he reached 51, he soon not passed out. Right after a break after that, he soon did that of 60 sit-ups, but once reached 61, soon just passed out once again. Then soon after another hour, Omegasis came out of his smartphone, then saying, "Why do you bother doing this pointless work, Midori Izuku? I mean, come on. You already have the ability to transform into an EM being. Why would you need to?" Then Izuku saying, "I need to work out, just in case. I mean, remember the last time that we got involved as MegaMan in the real world? I really had to run as far away as I could with the crowd after all. So, and I was pretty exhausted. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been trying to improve my body. Hopefully, it would be enough until the UA entrance exam." Then saying, "Oh, right, I forgot about the exam." Then soon Izuku's eyes widening and shocked, looking at his FMEN partner, soon saying, "What do you mean you forgot? This isn't the entire reason why you're here. It's to help me become a hero." And that's exactly what I've been doing. With then soon Izuku tilting his head saying, "What?" With then Omega says sighing and saying, "Remember what you've been doing for the past couple of months? Besides me teaching you on how to improve yourselves as that of an EM being, you've been fighting against plenty of viruses whose abilities range from different variants, such as that of electrification, controlling the earth, even that of fire, controlling wind and fire, and that in other crazy abilities as well. Even with that of unique speeds that even surpass that of the EM waves as well, which is surprisingly in some way." With then Izuku saying, "That is true. Not only that, when you were doing things in the real world, becoming physical, you have been saving a lot of people. Sure, you haven't been doing as much because, again, I understand this world's rules on vigilantism. It's stupid and pathetic and ridiculous. But even so, so that means you have been training as a hero, and I have been doing that." With then Izuku saying, "But yeah, and besides, if you do go to that school, don't you think some people are going to realize that you are MegaMan? You may have been able to cover your face and even modify your voice, but even so, you're still going to be found out." With then Izuku saying, "Oh God, I am. What am I gonna do? People are going to." With then Omega saying, "Calm down, Izuku. That's only one way. Remember, quirks vary after all. Hell, they can be completely the same or just have different qualities. So that means you can have a quirk similar to that of MegaMan. Also, you can change your appearance." With then soon Izuku's eyes widening, saying, I can? What do you mean I could change my appearance?" With soon Omega says, realizing what he said, saying, "On second thought, never mind. Forget I brought it up." After hearing that, Izuku wanted to grab onto the Femian being on basically in front of him and shake him crazily. However, realizing that he's basically invisible and also untouchable as well, Izuku stopped himself before then taking a deep breath and then soon shouting, "What? You better tell me right here and now!" With then soon Omega is saying, okay, but don't say I didn't warn you." With then soon Omega is crossing his arms, saying, there are ways for EM beings to change their appearance. It also means that they can also change their power set as well by getting in contact with noise. With then soon Izuku's eyes widening, saying, noise?" With then soon Izuku came to realization, saying, "You mean noise cracks, right? Basically corrupted forms of EM wave data that's basically untouchable and can cause some serious problems to not just technology. It can also cause entire blackouts from technology from even working ever again." With then soon Omega saying, "You know your stuff, but it's not just that. In EM, if a noise comes up into the real world through EM waves, it can basically cause a distortion in reality itself. Not only that, it could also cause a lot of problems for the person that comes in contact with it, especially a living being such as you and me. It could cause, well, you could die, Izuku." With then hearing that, Izuku's eyes widening and shocked. With then saying, "That's why I said that don't bother with it. If anything, we can probably make an excuse on why you look like MegaMan. Say that it's a cosmetic choice after all. That it's a way for you to use your quirk. That you chose the form of MegaMan because he gives you somewhat of courage after all. And that you admire him. with then soon Izuku saying, "You think that will work?" With then Omega saying, "Who can say? Humans are fickle. You humans are fickle creatures, but a smart person might be able to see through your lies. Just letting you know this now, Izuku." With then soon Izuku taking a deep breath, with then saying, "Well, at least you told me this. But how about we keep the noise thing a side note after all?" With then soon Omega saying, Izuku saying, I know, but please, just keep it as a side note. That's all I want." With then soon looking at Izuku's eyes, realizing that he won't budge on this, saying, "All right, that entrance exam of yours, it begins in next month, right?" With Izuku nodding and saying, "Yeah." With then Omega saying, "Well, better keep on getting to work on improving your body if you don't want to always rely on being MegaMan." With then Izuku couldn't help but nod, saying, "Yeah, thanks, Omega sis." With then saying, yeah, whatever." With then soon, as the doorbell to his apartment rang, with then Izuku saying, "Who could that be?" With then soon realizing that his mom is actually out doing grocery shopping. With then soon Omega goes back into Izuku's phone. As Izuku leaves his room, walks down the hallway to the doorway, with then looking outside, seeing on who could it be, as he couldn't see them. With then soon opening the door, as he soon looks down, he sees that of a girl or possibly a young woman, with that of pigtailed red hair, wearing that of a pretty frilly dress, actually. Wearing that of a white blouse with a, red bow tie, and also a purple long skirt. With then Izuku saying, "Can I help you, miss?" With then she saying, "Oh, hi. My name is Manabi Iba. You're Izuku Midoriya, are you not?" With then Izuku blushing as saying, yeah, I am." With then Izuku saying, who is she? Just by her size, she looks like she's me. She's my age, but I can tell that she seems a bit older, actually. Just by looking at her. And not only that, right now it's currently still school hours, so it makes no sense. And she doesn't seem like she's wearing a school uniform either. So, with this, as Izuku soon getting out of his internal mumbling thoughts, with then saying, "Can I help you, Miss Iba?" With then saying, "Oh, you don't have to call me Miss Iba or anything like that. You could just call me Manami, actually. Actually, I wanted to speak to you, Izuku Midoriya." With then Izuku saying, okay. As he's thinking, with soon both of them are in his apartment as they sit in that of the dining table. With then soon Izuku feeling nervous as his face is pretty red right now, as Mai actually also having that of a red face too, as she's twiddling her thumbs right now. With then Izuku saying, "I have a person who's a female in my house that I do not know, and my mom is not here. This is quite something else." With then soon Omega who's in Izuku's phone, looking at the whole interaction as well, thinking, "Oh boy, this is going to be something else if I do say so. Wonder how this is going to go." With then soon Omega looks at Manabi as realizing, "Wait a minute, I've seen her before. Yeah, if I recall, it was one of those hacker gigs It was the ones where we took out took out those villains who was using a EM wave hacker. With then Sue noticing this, Izuku, as Omegasis was about to cause Izuku's phone to ring. However, before that, Izuku saying, "So, can I ask Iba, can I ask you why did you come wanting to meet me?" "Well, you see, actually, I wanted to know about you. To be fair, I found out that then soon Izuku's phone begins to ring in his ringtone, as it being that of, well, All Might being an All Might theme ringtone. Then soon Izuku saying, "Oh, I better take that. I'll be back in a bit." Then soon Izuku going into his room with her saying, "Oh, sure, take your time." With that, Izuku goes into his bedroom, answers the phone, but then realizes, wait, nobody was. Then soon, Omegasis comes out of his phone, and then Izuku puts on his visualizer, with soon looking at the FMian, with then saying, "Izuku, you need to keep your wits about this woman." Saying, "Wait, woman? So she is an adult?" Saying, "Her name is Manabi Iba. She's actually the hacker who we fought against about a month ago." Then saying, "Wait, during that heist about the villains trying to get into the Masafu Bank without even needing to use their quirks to break in." Then saying, "Yeah, same one, but it turned, I don't know. I still can't believe it that you basically wanted to make sure that nobody was able to track her signal." Then saying, "I didn't see the viruses that she uses didn't seem like they were, that violent, unlike the rogue viruses we fight on a daily. Her viruses seemed more sad, actually. Like they were only doing this because they had to be. It was in her coding, to be fair." Then soon, Omega's saying, right. Their EM waves aren't just that of electromagnetic waves. They can also be influenced by that of pure emotions. And even the viruses that are manipulated by the EM waves can also be manipulated by those emotions as well. And seeing on how sad they were definitely her emotions. Even the signal coming directly from her phone, from both, not just her phone, but also from her computer, where she did her hacking from. Then saying, "Then how does she?" Then Omega's is giving Izuku that of a raised eyebrow and a deadpan look. Then saying, right, she's a hacker. But even so, she was able to find me that quickly? I thought for sure that we covered our tracks. Saying, we might have did. However, just by seeing on how she was able to find us, she might have been diligently trying to find us. Whatever the reason that she's here for, be on your guard. She might be able to blackmail you so you won't be able to go to UA. Then hearing this, Izuku might actually take a deep breath, saying, "Thanks for telling me this, Omegasis." Saying, "Don't worry about it. Now, just be careful." With that, Omegasis goes back into his phone, then Izuku putting it back into his pocket, within him leaving his bedroom and heading back into the kitchen, within sitting back on to the table. Within Iba can help but say, "Is everything okay?" Within Izuku saying, "Oh yeah, sure, but I want to ask you a question, Miss Iba. How did you find me by any chance?" Then soon her eyes widening, saying, "Find you? Well, you see, is it because you're a hacker by any chance?" Then soon she even become more worried and scared, actually. with then Izuku saying, I'll cut straight to the point. You're here because you know that I'm MegaMan. Is that right? With then she nodding her head. And you also know that I fought against you, against the hacker, against your viruses, when you were working with a bunch of villains trying to steal cash from a EM wave vault, right? With then she nodding herself, with soon Izuku saying, so why are you here? Are you here to? With then saying, I just wanted to meet my hero. With then Izuku's eyes lining, saying, your hero? As Izuku was completely caught off guard, as she says that he's her hero. With then Iba basically went down on her backstory in her past, as back when she was only 15 years old, she confessed to a crush that she had in junior high, with on even the day of her birthday being Valentine's Day. With that, however, instead of the guy basically admitting his feelings for her, he basically went behind her back and made fun of her, calling that that her confession was actually creepy more than anything. Due to that, Iba basically dropped out of junior high school and didn't even go to high school at all. She basically spent her entire life as a shut-in before her parents kicked her out, but did set her up for an apartment after all. Soon after, she spent her entire life on the internet, basically scrolling down on everything, not even having a care in the world, even thinking about ending her life if nothing interesting happened. However, she did have to pay her own bills because her parents stopped, funding her after all. So she became a hacker. She was self-taught in everything, manipulating EM viruses to do her job, which was easy than just, always having to do it herself, and where her own coding and programming would be followed back to her, given that EM viruses are easy to destroy using that of battle cards after all. However, on that one job she would probably do before ending it all, her viruses was soon taken out by Izuku and Omegasys, defeated the villains without even getting in contact with them. However, she believed that since the villains did contact her, they may not know where she is or what she looked like or anything like that. But even so, there are plenty of smart heroes that could possibly hack her and even find her address and through her coding after all. But instead, they never did. They never came, which always surprised her and shocked her. She was even more and more scared until she found out that the signal that anybody could find her using EM waves to track her down was being blocked entirely, which made her realize that the person that took out her viruses was the person who protected her, that being MegaMan. With that, she soon spent almost the entirety of the month trying to track down on what MegaMan is, on who he is, and what is his quirk, and how is he able to, have so much powers in that of the real world and the EM wave network as well. Then soon she realized that that MegaMan and Izuku had in common is both their body types and shapes after all, which soon basically made her find Izuku, with then tracking down where he lived and also finding his address. Not only that, even going through somewhat of his past, finding out that he is the son of the famous, astrophysicist and EM scientist Hasashi Midoriya, which proves on how he's able to manipulate EM waves so perfectly, with then realizing that possibly that Izuku Midoriya and MegaMan were one and the same. With then hearing this, Izuku was completely shocked, surprised, but the most shocking thing is that he wasn't creeped out. If anything, he was really impressed on her skills as that of a hacker, especially on being able to manipulate the EM waves so perfectly. Heck, even people with that of, well, super smart quirks, such as Nezu, have a hard time, well, getting through the EM wave network, except Izuku being composed of EM waves entirely, thanks to EM wave change. With then soon, Omegasis couldn't help but say, wow, this woman is something else. You really think we should trust her? With then Izuku not even listening to Omegasis, as soon it came back to her saying, you say I was your hero. Why do you say that? Just because I protected you? With then soon she's saying yes and no, actually. It was more than that. You protecting me was one thing, but when I saw you were basically just doing what you wanted, that you were saving people, helping those in need, even outside of the law, I realized it made me believe in people again. It made me want to try and reach out to the person that made me want to believe. And when I found that you were basically that of a 15-year-old boy, I was a little bit worried, to be fair. So with then Izuku saying, can I ask, how old are you, Miss Iba? With then saying, I'm 20 actually. I'll be 21 next week, to be fair. With then Izuku was completely caught off guard, with then thinking, wow. With then saying, so do you? With then Izuku saying, you call. Honestly, I was more shocked that you found out that I was MegaMan. Personally, I thought that you were going to blackmail me to keep me from continue being MegaMan. With then Iba saying, no, please don't. Please continue being MegaMan. Please continue doing what you were doing. I want to continue seeing you doing what you think is right, after all. With then soon, Izuku was still completely caught off guard by her words, saying, because by any chance, do you plan on becoming a pro hero, or do you plan on giving up on that dream of being a pro hero? Because even so, either way, if you go vigilante, I want to help you more than anything. I want to continue seeing you shine and rise. And if you become pro, I'll still help you out any way I can. But even in the shadows, if I have to do so. With then Izuku couldn't help but actually cry. With then Iba looking at the messy greenette 15-year-old, as she's saying, you're crying. Why are you saying, I'm sorry. It's just that I've been thanked a few times as MegaMan, but I've never been called a hero, not just as MegaMan by people, but as me, as Izuku Midoriya. It feels good knowing somebody sees me as their hero, just as me, than just as MegaMan. With then soon Omegasis seeing his partner, his friend, crying like this, and began thinking, I thought that she was a threat to Izuku. That maybe I was wrong. And seeing by her words, she definitely cares about him. Even just meeting him once, she'll devote everything to him. With Omegasis smirking and couldn't help but say, this woman is something else. With then soon Izuku saying, Miss Iba, then she's saying, please, you can, please call me by my first name, Manabi, with then Izuku saying, okay, and you can call me, well, Izuku, Miss Manami, actually, or maybe De, with then soon Izuku saying, just Izuku, if you could, with then she's saying, okay, Izuku, so, what have you decided for yourself? With then Izuku looking down as he rubs the last of his tears, with then saying, I'll still be MegaMan, but I plan on taking the UA entrance exam. I want to become a hero more than anything. I want to become a hero just like All Might. I want to save people with a smile on my face and tell them that I'll be here for them. That's the kind of hero I've always dreamt of being more than anything. With then hearing this, Manami couldn't help but smile, saying, it's such a noble dream and a noble goal. Way better than any of the other heroes nowadays. Honestly, you should see some of the stuff I've seen that some pro heroes get up into. With then soon Izuku saying, are you sure you should? Oh, sorry. It's just force of habit, after all, being a hacker. So with then Izuku saying, it's okay. Just still caught off guard, that's all. But even so, will you stop being a hacker if you say you want to support me, right? Saying, of course. But if I do need to be a hacker, of course, but if there's something that you need and you need my skills as a hacker, I wouldn't mind doing it for you. With then Izuku saying, oh, okay, but please allow it be that of emergencies, as Izuku says this with blushing on his face, as Manami has the same thing, with Omega Sis basically looking at the two saying, oh boy, these two are completely and utterly the same. It's like dealing with two Izukus, but one's a female. With then Izuku saying, okay, thank you, Miss Manami. With then Such saying, I should be the one truly thanking you, Izuku. As the two look at each other, with then soon the door opens, with then Izuku hears his mother saying, Izuku, I'm back from grocery shopping. I actually got many ingredients for us to make katsudon tonight, in case that you, with then soon Inko realizing that, she sees that of Iba, with then saying, oh, Izuku, I didn't know that you made a friend, and it's a female, and she's a girl, actually. With then Izuku and Manabi actually look at each other before soon both of them going completely and utterly red, saying, wait, Mom, it's not what you think. I mean, it is, but it's not. With Suit saying, Miss Midoriya, you see, my name is Manabi and I, with then soon, after basically 5 minutes of fumbling over themselves, they soon finally explain themselves properly towards Inko, with then soon Inko saying, I see, so my son saved you? Saying, yes, actually, I was in quite a dark situation, and then your son came around and helped me through it. So I wanted to meet him, so I wanted to know more about him and meet him myself and thank him. With then Inko hearing the saying, Izuku, with then Izuku looking down, saying, I'm so proud of you, my boy, as she hugs her son tightly, as she begins tearing up like crazy. With then Izuku saying, thanks, Mom, as Izuku also begins tearing up, and on the same level as Inko, though. With then Manami couldn't help but actually smile at the interaction between mother and son as she begins thinking about her own parents, but soon realizes that, well, she kind of burned her bridges with her parents after all when dropping out of school and becoming a shut-in, a hikikomori, to be fair. With then she's soon standing up saying, well, if you excuse me, I should get going. But then soon, before she leaves, as Izuku saying, wait, Miss Iba, you haven't, with then as saying, remember Izuku, it's Manabi, remember? We're with then Izuku saying, oh, right, Miss Manabi, you haven't really send me your, I'll send it to you another time, after all. Right now, I should get back home before it gets too late. So, I hope we can meet again, Izuku. With then, as soon she blushes while smiling towards the green net team. With then Izuku also smiling at the red-haired young 20-year-old. With then saying, yeah, definitely. With soon she begins she walks out of the door and soon leaves as well. But then Inko sitting up and say, maybe I'm so happy. My son finally met somebody that's a friend. Sure, she may be that of a 20-year-old woman, but at least it's somebody. And him always being alone by himself after all these years. With then Izuku couldn't help but think, I still can't believe it that my first friend is a older woman. With then soon Omega's saying, hey, Izuku, you got a message. With then Izuku pulling out his phone and soon going to his messages. But then Omega's saying, well, she did give you her phone number because she already has yours. With then Izuku's eyes widening, saying, she already had my phone number. Wow, her hacking skills are scary. With then Omegasis couldn't help but cross his arms and look down while his eyes closed, saying, definitely. She's somebody you should be lucky to have somebody like her as an ally. Because if she was an enemy who took her job seriously as a hacker, who knows what kind of things she would do. With then Izuku saying, definitely. With then saying, but hey, at least all we have to deal with is that of regular strength training. We'll let the pros do what they do best, saving lives and taking care of villains. With then soon Omega saying, if you say so. With that, Omega just begins thinking about allies, huh? Most allies. Just be hope that this Iba doesn't betray you, Izuku. With then he begins thinking of certain beings, certain people he used to saw as comrades, friends, his old squad, 9 FMians he used to be close with, until they betrayed him and even their race as well. Thinking that hopefully Izuku doesn't go through what he went through before. With then currently in space, and that of the atmosphere of Earth, with then a being that many beings with that of EM wave fire covering their bodies, with some having that of metal surrounding them, with some of them being that of, well, for that of faceplates, armor, or even that of being able to see, with one of them saying, so this is the dirt ball that our former commander went to, with and saying, of course, His Majesty must have given him the Andromeda key for safety to make sure that we didn't get to it. With a feminine voice saying, it makes sense. Well, he was the most trustworthy of all of us, especially since he was a so-called war hero. With them saying, at least we'll get to see the captain again after all this time. With them saying, ho ho ho, more than anything, I wonder what this world the world of these beings are capable of. I can just feel the EM energy coming from this place. With then other one saying, in this, I also heard rumors that the space station that we planned on destroying before being saved by Omegasis and His Majesty and the FAMians are from this planet. Hopefully, some of them did have unique powers and looked sort of weird. So I wonder, do all of them have unique powers and have weird features as well? With then soon another EM being says this one seems a lot more different, as he has as this one has that of two faces, with one white and one black, saying, it does not matter. Let's just get the Andromeda key. And soon, not just this world, but planet FM, planet AM, and the entire cosmos will bow before us. With that, soon all of them descend to Earth, with all of them being color coordinated as well, thinking that the Earth now has a new threat to deal with. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Sorry that this whole part was, well, mostly Izuku getting to know that of La Brava after all. And yeah, La Brava or Miss Iba is going to be that of one of Izuku's main love interests in this story after all. So yeah, she won the polls, so I gotta go with her. And honestly, kind of makes sense given her hacking skills, and this entire What If is mostly composed of going through that of a somewhat virtual cyberspace that's composed of energy after all. So yeah, it only makes sense that she would possibly be a love interest for Izuku. But at any rate, as for this What If, I hope you guys continue to support it and love it, because things are going to become even more crazier in the next part. So, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep up to date with my videos when I upload on the channel. Also, check out my Discord, gaming channel, side channel, and Patreon. All linked in the description below. So, with all that said, this is Yamuki, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. Shiro, you know what to do, girl.
Hi everyone, this is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell and check out his playlist. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!